Welcome back to the IPF World Championships here live in Homestead, Sweden. This is six-pack Lapidat, and on our platform we have the junior men, 53 and 59 and 66 kilo classes.
So, before we begin, and I think these gentlemen all
I'll give a
deserve
quick shout out
big
to our
round of
sponsors,
applause. Our spotting and loading
Alico,
team from Ukraine.
who in the 11th hour opened up their doors to us, and we are literally here live at the Alico headquarters, as well as SBD, without the financial support this wouldn't have been possible, and also their support of the athletes.
They've done an awesome job televising this over the internet. Give them a big round of applause.
We're going to do a little bit of bouncing around between the 53s, 59s, and 66s. It looks like we might have some battles, and we'll start off in the squat event. Just a quick peek at our lineup.
Yes. So here we go. We got Salmon Desse from Great Britain.
115 kilo on the bar.
The United States Virgin Islands.
Desai Salmon
There you go.
in the 53 kilo class.
All right, get this on two. So, your next lifter on platform 2 will be Jacob Bonkowski from Poland.
Salmon making easy work of 115 kilo.
Three white lights for Mr. Dessa. Popov. Matt V. Popov will be your next lifter on platform 1 for the Russian Olympic Committee. Popov. Platform 2, Jacob Bonkowski.
Matvey Popov of the ROC opening up with 130 kilo, staying in the 53 kilo class.
Sub-juniors on your right. Juniors on your left.
Sinks it deep, bar speed on point, and that's how you want your opener to look. You don't want to go too heavy, back yourself into a corner, and start missing lifts this early. And you also want to get the nerves out of the way. Some of these gentlemen have traveled weeks and months of preparation for this. You're in the warm-up room, you feel the buzz and the energy in the air. You just want to get on the platform, get one in the board, get the positive momentum going. 145 kilo on the bar for Jensen Zenlau.
Ali Al-Shawi, platform 2. Very smooth and easy. And let's see if the referees say yes, they like it. Ali.
Good looking opener.
Okay, platform 1.
Looks on point, 3 white lights, the judges agree.
Next lifter on platform
Jensen in the 59 kilo class,
on platform 2.
staying in the 59 kilo class. K-Mac of Turkey, opening with 172.5 kilo on the bar.
Platform 1, we've got K-Mac. K-Mac, Turkey. Okay, and let's see what the lift. Yes, 3 white lights on platform 2.
Bar moved well. We'll see what the judges say. If I'm honest, it looked borderline. You can see on the slow-mo replay here, it was right about parallel. He doesn't have to do a whole lot more deeper. And the bar speed was fine. He just needs to drop it a little bit lower. Kovac of Czechia, 175 kilo on the bar for William.
We got William Kovac, Czech Republic.
We are staying in the 59 kilo class. Bar moved well, but there we go. So again, it was borderline. We're getting close. If you're a little nervous in the back, you're going to get a whole lot more nervous when you get out there for your first attempt and possibly miss it, get called. You do got 3 attempts. No need to get rattled. But confidence comes with experience, and when you're a junior, oftentimes at this level, experience is the one thing you don't have yet. Diaz from Kazakhstan. Muhammadin, 175 kilo on the bar for him. Opener moved well. 3 white lights, and he's on the board. Staying in the 59 kilo class, Thomas Archer of France, 182.5 kilo on the bar for him.
From the Ukraine, time running. Platform 1, Thomas Akron from France.
3 white lights. And while we're watching the openers, you know, it's intriguing, and you might want to be paying attention to the bar speed, but you don't want to read too much into it. I've seen some lifters where they're not going to move super fast, whether it's a warm-up, opener, and the speed stays consistent right through to the thirds. Consistency is more telling than necessarily the overall bar speed. Boris Komisarov of the ROC, Russian Olympic Committee, 185 kilo. Biggest squat opener of the 59 kilo class. Wow. And talk about a segue to bar speed. There was bar speed for you. Looking at the slow-mo replay, and it even looks fast on the slow-mo replay. Moving back to the 53s, where Salmon of Great Britain has 122.5 loaded, and these spotters and loaders are hustling on our platform, moving very quickly.
Yucatan, I should say. Boris Yucatan from Kazakhstan. Time is running. Platform 2. I need to see Salmon Tessie.
To say Salmon. 7.5 kilo jump for him. Calm, cool, and collected.
170 kilos, ladies and gentlemen. Salmon Tessie, Great Britain, platform 1.
15 seconds on the counter.
And 3 white lights for Boris.
And he gets it. A little bit of work, but he gets 3 white lights. Hits depth, no question about that. Slows around the midpoint, but he muscles through the sticking. And Popov of ROC. We're staying in the 53 kilo class. 135 kilo loaded on the bar for him. A little more conservative 5 kilo jump from his opener. Nicely done. Great Britain's Jansen now. We're back in the 59 kilo class. 152.5 kilo loaded on the bar for him. 7.5 kilo jump from his opener. His opener moved very well. Not expecting 7.5 kilo to break the bank. but we'll get a better indication where he's going to end up with his third attempt.
Well done. And the referee say, yes, 3 right nuggets. And we have Jensen, 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Depending how long Jensen gets the signal. There we go.
And that moved very well. If we were looking for an indication where he might end up in his third, looks like he's got quite a bit more room to grow. Take another shot at this. He got 1 depth call, but you only need 2 out of 3 white lights. And K-Mac of Turkey. 172.5 kilo. Loaded once again. If you remember, got called on his opener. First squat was roughly parallel. Doesn't need to make any major adjustments. Do the exact same setup, the exact same thing, just a stitch lower, and he'll be fine. That'll look better. Let's see what the judges say, if it was good enough. 3 white lights on the board, and he's back on track. Staying in the 59 kilo class now. And 182.5 kilo being loaded on the bar for William Kovac of Czechia. We are in PR territory already. And a 7.5 kilo jump from his opener. Now, when you're this age, PRs probably fall on a consistent basis. So I'm not overly surprised we're hitting PRs with our second attempts. Some people do it in their openers in the juniors. No, got called on depth. Take a look at the slow-mo replay here. Again, not that it was overly high, but it was around parallel. He doesn't have to do a lot to adjust. Just a stitch lower and he has it. It was probably the appropriate call for weight and execution. He's got it within reach. Just some minor adjustments in Diaz. Mukahamadin of Kazakhstan. 182.5 on the bar for him. 7.5 kilo jump. He shakes his head. He doesn't like how that felt. The depth was good, but maybe it was a little more work than he had anticipated for a second attempt. 190 kilo on the bar now. We're staying in the 59 kilo class for Thomas Acher. I'm throwing an R in his last name. I apologize. It's Thomas Acher. Whoa, muscling through it. Talk about some heart on him. 3 white lights and great second attempt. Willing to empty the tank. No quit in him, but doesn't exactly have a lot of room to go for his third attempts. Look at that. And talk about a poker face. Remain calm throughout. Acting like a seasoned veteran in the junior class. Boris Komisarov, Russian Olympic Committee, 195 kilo on the bar for him. Just powers through it. Boris drops in the hole of that squat confidently, leaving no doubt for the judges. And has a bit of a high bar style to him. Elbows tucking underneath the bar as he drives up. We're going back to the 53 kilo class. Now we're on our third attempts. The Say Salmon of Great Britain. Taking a 2.5 kilo jump. 2 and 2 so far in the squat event. Salmon, a bit of the strong silent type, if you will. Just a little too much today. The second attempt, it was difficult. You had a feeling he was getting close to the limit. He took the smallest incremental jump you can take, 2.5 kilo. So the attempt selection was on point. Just got stuck in the same sticking point he had in the second attempt. Just a little too much during the third. We're going to move to 137.5 kilo. Matvey Popov of the ROC. Also a 2.5 kilo jump from his second attempt. And that moved surprisingly easy. Sometimes as the bar gets heavier, your adrenaline goes up and you handle it better than anticipated. Go back in the warm-up room and start asking yourself, did we leave some kilos on the table? 160 kilo on the bar for Jensen of Great Britain. We're back in the 59 kilo class. Again, this is the third attempts. 7.5 kilo jump from his second. You can see how tight his hands are to his shoulders. Very tight back, allowing him to get a nice brace on his core.
20 seconds. Is that now all? Okay. And Leonid's lift is good.
Moved very well for Jensen. Just a little bit on the depth. Let's take a look on the slow-mo replay. You got to keep in mind, not all of these lifters, their hips aren't exactly aligned. So on one side, it might look good. On the other, the judge might call it. And that would be why. K-Mac of Turkey, 180 kilo on the bar for him. Missed his opener on depth. Retook it, hit it pretty easily. And the strike zone has been established. He knows where depth is. Just got to sink it there. The strength is there, no question. Can he add 7.5 kilo to his total? Depth definitely looked a lot better than his opener. It looks like he's adjusted well. The judges agree. Adjusting in-game like a seasoned veteran. 182.5 being loaded on the bar for William Kovac of Czechia. William had missed his second attempt, taking a 7.5 kilo jump from his opener. Oh, wow. Great effort. The second attempt was much the same. Was it deep enough? It is this time. And William, 2 for 3 in the squats. Picks up another 7.5 kilo towards his total. If you miss on depth, you got to stay calm, cool, and collected. Don't make any major shakeups in your technique, just a stitch lower, and trust yourself. You'll come up with it. Diaz from Kazakhstan. Muhammadin with a 5 kilo jump from his second attempt. We are in PR territory for this young man. But if you're going to PR, what better place in the IPF Worlds? Oh, just a little too much. Now, he had left the platform after his second attempt, shaking his head, even though he got it. And possibly telling himself, you know what? Not quite feeling it in squash session right now. Not sure if he had to cut weight, maybe a little more dehydration, and he'll be fine by the time the bench press rolls around. But he will be credited with 2 or 3 squats. And Boris Komisarov of the ROC. 200 kilo even, the biggest squat in the 59 kilo class. Boris just hammers through that 200 kilo with authority, collecting the gold medal in the squat event for the 59s. And really establishing himself at the forefront of the 59 kilo class thus far. Still got a lot of lifting left to go. And we are now in the 66 kilo class, where Murata Yuji of Japan will open with 165 kilo. A quick peek at the 66 kilo lineup. The world well represented. Murata takes a little peek out into the crowd, puts a smile on his face. Everything you've been training for, it's here now. Makes easy work of 165 kilo. Picture perfect squat opener for Yuji Murata. Iwaki Hayato of Japan. 175 kilo on the bar for him. Big breath in the brace. Nicely done. Squat. Again, that's pretty much picture perfect how you want your squat opener to look. Hit the depth with confidence. No major exertion. It is a long day. And when you're nervous, you expend a lot more energy than you think you are. Even when you're sitting in the back between your attempts. Ray Satvir of Canada. 180 kilo on the bar for him. And Satvir is on the board. 3 white lights. See a slow-mo replay there. Bar path up and down. Jesus Amado of Mexico. Also opening with 180 kilo. Appears to be another good opener. Judges agree. And thus far, no major drama in the 66 kilo class when it comes to openers. Alex Kremins of Ireland, opening with 187.5 kilo. This would match his previous personal best. However, like I said before, personal bests tend to fall quickly when you're a junior. And he moved that relatively easily. 3 white lights. Alan Chung of Canada up next with a 200 kilo opening squat attempt.
Platform 1, the bar is loaded for Igor Kudorov from the Russian Olympic Committee. Kudorov.
A little bit of a mix up there with the on-screen graphics. I do think it is Alan up next, though, judging by... They're saying they're giving Alan the green lights already on the scorecard without having to do it, and he'll take it if they give it to him. All right. Well, he's going to have to earn it.
From the Russian Olympic Committee, platform 2, fires loaded. Platform 1, Alan Chung, Canada. There you go.
Alan Chung. 3 white lights, and he's on the board. And here's another reason why you want your squat opener to be something you could hit any day of the week under any conditions. Because it's the IPF world, so you're a little bit nervous. You hit the platform, a little bit of confusion. It's got to be a weight that no matter what, you're not going to get rattled. Igor Kudorov of the ROC, Russian Olympic Committee, opening with 205 kilo. The clock is winding down. I'm not sure if he heard the bars loaded or I believe.
Yes, he is. Here comes Bars. All right. Igor Kudorov, Russian Olympic Committee.
He's got 13 seconds. He is going to have to hustle, and you have 60 seconds after bars loaded. Oh, he gets it. It makes easy work of it. Nicely done. And again, I hate to repeat myself, but this is why you want your opener to be something you can hit under any conditions. You might be rushed. You don't walk into the IPF World Championships telling yourself, I might have 20 seconds to set up and hit one of my attempts on the platform.
Bars loaded, 200 kilos. Next lifter.
Ciaran Murray of Ireland, opening with 210 kilo.
Platform 1, 210 kilo. Squat. All right. Platform 2 will take a 20-minute break.
Nicely done opener there. Collects 3 white lights and is on the board. A little bit of a hip shift while descending, but definitely hits depth. Bar speed on point. Chest was always up. And the biggest opener in the 66 kilo class today, 225 kilo for Alberto Francis. If you follow Alberto on Instagram, he is all types of strong. Alberto is on the board. And all of the 66s have hit their openers.
All right. Bar loaded and ready. Round 2 coming at you.
A look at the openers on the scorecard so far. A lot of lifting left to go. And you never know who's opened relatively lightly and is going to take some bigger jumps, so we could see a shakeup.
177
But nobody missed their opening attempt. No one's forced to retake their opening weight. Everybody's on track. And Hayuto of Japan, 177.5 kilo on the bar for him. Somewhat conservative, 2.5 kilo jump. And he makes easy work of it.
Next lifter, Yuji Murata from Japan.
Japan's Yuji Murata, 180 kilos. 15 kilo jump from his opener. Obviously, his opener felt good. This will be a personal best for him. And it's all in how you train and prepare. If you're used to taking big jumps, it's no big deal. Conserving energy. Don't need to go heavy for all 3 lifts.
Yuji Murata. Yes, sir.
And there you go. That's how you want your second attempt to feel and look.
And 3 white lights.
3 white lights.
All right, now we're going to move the weight to
187.5 kilos being loaded right now. Ray Satfir of Canada.
Time running for Satfir Ray.
Nice looking second attempt for Ray. 3 white lights. Collecting himself another 7.5 kilo towards his total. It's work, but it's honest work. He never gets jockeyed out of position. And Jesus Amado of Mexico, 190 kilo being loaded on the bar for him. $10 kilo jump from his opener. Quick on that descent. 2 to 1, it's good. He actually, you could tell by the barbell, it was slightly uneven on the way up. So I had a feeling one of the hips might have hit depth and one of the hips might not have. And one of the judges passed on one side, the other judge did not. Alex Cremens of Ireland, 195 kilo loaded on the bar for him, 7.5 kilo jump from his opener, which moved well. Opened up with a previous personal best. In a bit of uncharted territory here. Handles it well. See what the judges say. And they agree, you only need 2.
Bars loaded and ready for Alan Chung, 207.5 kilos.
Alan Chung of Canada, 207.5 kilo loaded on the bar for him. Alan opened up with 200 kilo.
Alan Chung,
And 200 kilo moved well. 7.5 kilos should not break the bank.
207.5 kilos. From Canada.
So far, attempt selection in the 66 kilo class has been bang on.
Good try, good try. All right.
Weight came on just out of the hole there. We'll see in a slow-mo replay. Good brace, hits depth, and comes out on the right side. Looked like he might get pulled a little out of pocket. Some small adjustments. He might be able to get out the hole. Seems to be a sticking point. Igor Kutarov of the Russian Olympic Committee, 212.5 kilo loaded on the bar for him. 7.5 kilo jump from his opener. Well into PR territory. And makes easy work of his second attempt. Murray from Ireland, 222.5 kilo for his second attempt. 12.5 kilo jump from his opener. Oh, wow. It's worked. Just a little too much. It was an ambitious jump. 12.5 kilo. Let's take a look at the slow-mo replay. Hits depth, and the chest is slightly bowed there. It's difficult because once you start failing lifts and empty the tank fighting, you know, it's a long day and it can catch up to you later. Alberto. Jerez, France. Representing Spain, 235 kilo for his second attempt. 10 kilo jump from his opener. A big gold medal favorite coming in. Slow, controlled on the descent. And he looks like he has all types of horsepower in him. 2 out of 3, and it passes. You can see in the slow-mo replay, he comes up a stitch uneven, which is totally fine, but you might get 1 white and 1 red by the judges, but you only need 2. That's why we got 3 judges to have 3 different angles on it. And he's collecting all types of steam in the squat event. 192.5 kilo for Yuji Murata of Japan. Big 12.5 kilo jump for him. But he took a 15 kilo jump from his opener, and his second attempt moved very well. He handles the big jumps. Probably feels he's going to be a lot stronger for his third attempt if he hasn't emptied the tank in his first and second. See if it pays off. Oh, sticking point. Looked like he might battle through it for a second there. It was definitely within reason in terms of attempt selection. By no means was he out of his depth. And speaking of depth, definitely hammered it there. But The sticking point was too much. And Ray Satfier of Canada, 192.5 kilo loaded on the bar for him. 5 kilo jump from his second attempt. Oh, wow, just wheels himself through it. You see the bar speed slow almost to a pause. Ray refusing to be denied in his third attempt. 2 white lights, all he needs. Jesus Amato of Mexico now. 192.5 kilo loaded on the bar for him. Conservative 2.5 kilo jump from his second. Sensing the limit is in sight, pulls back a little. No sense overreaching. It's still 2.5 kilo you can collect and throw onto your total. Starts nodding the head halfway through, showing a little machismo, and I like it. And this is where attempt selection, it's good to be ambitious, but not overly ambitious. Yes, you can go back and say, throw on 5 kilo, I have it, but if you miss it, it helps you not. Being conservative, 2.5 kilo, it will go towards your total and help you in the long run. Stay in the pocket. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And Heyoto of Japan, 195 kilo on the opposite end in terms of attempt selection jumps. This is a rather big one. 12. Nope, excuse me, pardon me. 17.5 kilo jump from his second attempt. Have to break out the calculator here. It's early in the morning. Forgive me. Depth is there. Oh, high risk, high reward. Do the judges agree? They do. And again, strategically speaking, if that was his top end, he conserved his energy leading up to his top end without hitting too many squats close to his max capabilities, which can obviously drain you. On the flip side, if you miss something like that, you fall back to your second attempt weight, which was well below his capabilities. And Alex Cremins of Ireland, 200 kilo even, 5 kilo jump from his second attempt. Alex shifted it well enough. See if the judges like his depth. And I had a feeling, hesitated. We'll see on the slow-mo replay. The strength was there. Cut it just a stitch shy. And that can happen as the weight increases. Self-preservation kicks in. It's not necessarily something you're thinking about, but the body will cut it. Alex Chung retaking 207.5. Representing Canada. Depth is good. Oh, wow. Looks like he's going to do it. And Alex, showing poise, showing heart, comes back and hits it. 207.5, the redemption story for Alex Chung of Canada. It's not about how the story starts. It's about how the story finishes. Sometimes the story's better with a little bit of adversity, no? Igor Kutarov of the ROC. 217.5 kilo loaded on the bar for him. 5 kilo jump from his second attempt. Hands nice and tight to the shoulders. Oh, wow. Just forces those knees out. Refuses to be bowed. 3 white lights.
Ireland, 222.5 from Ireland.
Now, Murray of Ireland retaking 222.5 kilo. If he can hit it, he'll add 12.5 kilo to his total. We already seen the Canadian come back and hit. Can Ireland's Murray do the same? I tell you what, certainly the intensity is raised. Sometimes that's all it takes. Depth looks good. No, bar's coming back down just a little too much. It's not from a lack of effort. You left it on the platform as you're supposed to. 240 kilos being loaded on the bar for Alberto Jerez, France. Alberto fired up and looking to add another 5 kilo to his total. You can hear the encouragement from the Spanish national team coaches on the sidelines. Oh, wow. Talk about, oh. It came close, and it looked like he might have had it for a moment there. Definitely hits depth and fires out of the hole a couple inches from lockout and just wasn't there for the day. And you'll see a quick rundown of the scorecard. And I believe that is the 53s and 49s. Do not go anywhere. The action is already heated and only going to heat up more. We're going to take a short 10-minute break. Please do come back for the bench press event. 6-pack lap it at. I'll see you in 10. and welcome back to the IPF World Championships here live in Homestead, Sweden, where we have the 53, 59, and 66 kilo class juniors. We are coming back to the bench press event. I am 6-pack lapping at. Welcome back, because the action is heating up. We will start with a 75 kilo attempt by the 53 kilo junior Salmon of Great Britain. Taking a look at the first flight of lifters. It's a mix of our 53s and 59s in there, if you notice different body weights in that column. And so far, everybody has got on the board. Nobody bombed out. You do need to register at least one good lift in each of the 3 events to be guaranteed a total. If you don't register a good lift, but you do make the platform for an attempt, you can move on to the next event and participate, but you won't have a total. You won't be contributing any team points to your nation, but you can continue to lift and all is not lost. If you don't come out for a bona fide attempt at all, you're not going to move forward. Salmon of Great Britain opening with 75 kilo on the bar. He has previously hit 7.5 kilo, 77.5 kilo. 15 seconds left on the counter, and he still needs to get the start command afterwards. There it is. Nicely done. 3 white lights. Good time to go over. In the bench press, there's 3 commands, and it's got the most commands of all 3 of the events. You have your start command when your elbows are locked, butt is on the bench, you've stopped, moving your feet around, you're settled, head is on the bench. You got your press command when you lower the bar to your bench and the bar is motionless on your chest. And then you got your rack command when you press the bar, elbows are locked upon completion of it. In the squat event, there's 2 commands. In the deadlift event, just the 1, and that's the down command. 75 kilo on the bar for Jensen of Great Britain. Makes easy work of 75 kilo. And 85 kilo for Matvey Popov of the ROC, Russian Olympic Committee. 19-year-old young man, 3 years in the game. Popov of the 93 kilo class is on the board. We'll move into the 59 kilo class, where K-Mac of Turkey is opening with 100 kilo on the bar. Gets the lift off. Easy work of 100 kilo. And K-Mac is on the board. Bench press can be a bit of a volatile lift. If you've traveled, gone through a couple time zones, and had to cut weight, the bench can be affected. And because the weight is much less than squat and a deadlift, but the incremental changes in attempt selection, 2.5 kilo, does not change, you can get yourself in trouble if you don't adjust. Open light. and 110 kilo loaded on the bar for William Kovac of Czechia.
William Kovac. Kovac. Platform 1. Terrence Taylor. Platform 2. 102.5 kilos.
Makes easy work of 110 kilo.
Nice job.
3 white lights and a fist bump from the coach on the sidelines.
Push it back. There you go. And Barlow to the platform 1. And that lift was good.
Diaz.
Terrence Jacob. Leonid Koval, platform 2.
Muhammadin of Kazakhstan.
1. We have
110 kilo on the bar for him.
Mukhmedin.
You'll see a variety of different setups on the bench press. Essentially, your arms are a lever attaching to your body. The fulcrum of the lever is the shoulder, trying to get the shoulder underneath the touch point of the bench as much as possible. It also, just for a better force output, by the way, there's 2 white lights for the Kazakhstan lifter. It's softer on the shoulders, better pressing, mitigates the range of motion, allows you to lock your lats, take a deep breath, brace the body. The legs got tension throughout. You can get some leg drive depending where your feet position is. Sometimes people like their feet further back, and the leg drive is somewhat mitigated, but there's a lot of tension throughout the core. Different ways to approach it, different benching styles. 135 kilo for Thomas Aker. Easily gets the job done. You see Thomas actually squeezing the bench with his thighs, which is totally fine, keeps you based. One of the infractions on the bench press is if your butt leaves the bench. And we have, oh wow, a junior world record already just in the openers, and Boris Komisarov of Russian Olympic Committee, 142.5 kilo on the bar.
Who wants to see a world record? Put your hands together.
And it is insane that that was a world record. With the ease, Boris just not even much of a celebration. Talk about a stoic young man. But that's the look of a winner when a world record hardly impresses you, because you know you have so much more in the tank. Back in the 53 kilo class, where Salman of Great Britain has 80 kilo on the bar. The Brit looking to make a 5 kilo jump from his opener. It's work. He looks like he's pushing through the sticking point to the lockout. See what the judges say. 3 white lights. The big temptation when the fight comes in the bench press, sometimes the butt comes off the bench, and Salman remains disciplined. When the fight comes, you see the arms shake, but he never wavers. And 80 kilo for Jensen of Great Britain. We're back in the 59 kilo class, taking a 5 kilo jump. And despite the different weight classes, the increments a powerlifter can jump doesn't change. It's always 2.5 kilo. And it gets tougher in the bench press event for the lighter weight classes. They have to, at minimum, jump up 2.5 kilo. And the next increment after that is 5, and it gets big. It's a big jump on the bench press for the lighter weight classes. 3 white lights for Jensen of Great Britain. It doesn't leave a whole lot of options for these lighter weights.
United States Virgin Islands.
Matvey Popov of the ROC. We're back in the 53 kilo class, and Popov has 90 kilo on the bar.
And that is no lift. Do not wait for the command.
Move like an opener, an easy 5 kilo added to his total. Oh no, we had an infraction there. Oh, the butt came off. Right on cue, and thank you for the replay there. The angle I had from the IPF media booth actually didn't get it, but the judges on the platform switch up their seating from the squat event for the bench press so they can look for these things. 112.5 for K-Mac of Turkey. And that is a big 12.5 kilo jump in the 59 kilo class for the bench press. You don't see that too often, but it is underneath his personal best, so it should be within his means. And if he's used to training with those kind of jumps, well, there it is. Proof is in the pudding. 2 out of 3 white lights. $115 kilo loaded on the bar. Diaz. Muhammadin of Kazakhstan. I'm saying Muhammadin. Apologize if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Somewhat anglicizing some of these names, but the Kazakhstan lifter, 5 kilo jump from his opener. Still 5 kilo below his previous personal best. Ooh, not today though. With the bench press, it's not always on strength you're going to miss it. If the bar path gets off, look at it, cuts a little early on him towards his head. And with some adjustments, you do see people come back with the exact same weight and crush a weight that they missed. A missed groove can be a killer in the bench press event. Kovac, representing Czechia, 117.5 kilo on the bar for him. 7.5 kilo jump from his opener. It makes fairly easy work considering it's a 7.5 kilo jump. $150 kilo, 140 kilo now being loaded for Thomas Acker of France. Taking a 5 kilo jump. Ooh, brakes come on, but he's pushing through it. Wow. Great pressing power at the top end. Able to fight through now, but there's some infractions that the ref's seen. See if the slow-mo can show us. Bar can only move in one direction. It can't go any kind of down-up movement. The feet can't adjust as well. And the head has to stay on the bench. And you have 3 judges scanning and probing, and if they see something, it's not going to pass. 150 kilo loaded on the bar. Boris had broke the world record in his opener and made it look like an opener. It wasn't overextending for an opener just for the sake of saying I opened up with a world record. It was within means, and adding another 7.5 kilo to that world record and his total should he hit this. Wow. Boris taking this world record and running with it. And you could tell by his reaction, all part of the plan. He's not overly celebrating. A lot more work to do. Can celebrate when it's all done. I respect the maturity on Boris. And moving back to the 53s. Salmon of Great Britain will attempt 82.5 kilo. 2.5 kilo jump from his second attempt.
Push it through, go! And the referee say yes. 3-1.
Driving his traps into the bar, wedging himself into the bench, wedging himself under the bar. Beautiful setup by Salmon, a little too heavy for him on the day. Will be credited with that 80 kilo second attempt. And we are back in the 59 kilo class where Jensen of Great Britain, his teammate, will attempt 85 kilo. Jensen Law taking a 5 kilo jump from his second attempt.
You got 30 seconds. No. Yes, go. What? Then how long? Push it through.
And no major issues there. Takes the 5 kilo rather well. And tosses those 5 kilo onto his total. Take a look at this. Great pressing power. Staying in the 53s, Popov of the ROC taking 95 kilos. So interesting, he had missed 90 kilo and opts to jump up another 5 kilo regardless. And perhaps cleaned up the technique, and he does it. It's rare you see somebody miss a lift, go up and weight regardless, and hit it. And again, despite being a junior, showing the poise, the confidence. It's admirable. Back in the 59 kilo class where Kamak of Turkey will attempt 115 kilo. 2.5 kilo jump from the second attempt.
Last lift in the bench press, block 4-2, 20-minute break. K-Mac. 5-4-1. K-Mac.
Driving those traps into the mat, gets the lift off.
Lead it, 20-minute break,
Nicely done. Oh, we have an infraction. Slow-mo replay might catch this for us. Oh, yeah. Plenty of daylight there. But comes way off the bench. Kazakhstani lifter missed 115 in his second. Can Mukhammadin rally back and hit 115 in his third? It'd be 5 more kilo towards his total if he can. Nope. Nice catch by the spotters. And 122.5 loaded on the bar for William Kovac of Czechia. 5 kilo jump from his second attempt. We are 12.5 kilo away from his opener, covering a lot of ground in the bench press session. 59 kilo, William Kovac of Czechia. Three white lights, and I think that was a perfect selection. Another kilo he might not have got it. Left no kilos on the table. Did not overshoot, did not undershoot, and it's a very difficult proposition. 140 kilo for Thomas Aker of France. Missed this on his second attempt. Looking to retake this for his third and final bench. Silver medal in the bench press already in hand. Kovac picked up the bronze for the bench press event in the 59 kilo. But there's a bigger picture. There's a possible 5 kilo onto his total. There's a stall there. Oh, wow. Frozen for a second there. Take a look at the replay. Comes off the chest with pretty good speed. The leg drive helped him out there, but the final extension in lockout just couldn't get it in Boris. Komisarov of the Russian Olympic Committee. 151.5 kilo loaded on the bar. 1.5 kilo jump from his second attempt. And a third world record attempt for this young man in the bench press event. Back to back to back. And an absolute bench demon by Boris. Again, look at that pressing power from this young man. 3 world records broken in 3 attempts. And we will now move into the 66s. Taking a quick look at the lifters. Where Alex Cremins of Ireland will begin the action with 115 kilos on the bar for his opener. We have 9 lifters in the 66s. They have their own flight. It's a relatively quick turnaround. And while we have this small break, I'll give a quick shout out to our sponsors, Alico, who in the 11th hour opened the doors to us when we needed a venue and, well, essentially welcomed us into their home. We are at the Alico headquarters, as well as SPD for their support of the IPF Worlds. And Alan Chung, who in the squat event missed his second attempt, rallied back and got the weight on his third, will open up the bench press event with 110 kilo. Allen has hit this before. Attempt selection by the Canadians has been very much on point. Not expecting that to change here. Trend continues. That's exactly as you want your opener to look. And Alex is on the board. Syrian Murray, Ireland, 117.5 kilo. Kieran. My producers are telling me it's pronounced Kieran. Thank you, sir. And Kieran makes easy work of 117.5. And young man, I apologize for butchering your name earlier, but I got you now. Iwaki Hayato of Japan. 125 kilo on the bar for him. The Japanese have a reputation of being very technically proficient bench pressers. Take a look at this setup. Driving those shoulders into the bench. Look at that. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Those shoulders are tucked right underneath the touch point. Rises the chest even further, living up to the reputation. Hayato making 125 kilo look easy in the 59 kilo class and is on the board. Beautifully done. Look at that. Leg drive kicks in. Looks like he's hugging the bench a little bit with his thighs, which helps keep the butt on the bench when the leg drive comes. Jesus Amado of Mexico, also opening with 125 kilo. The head judge just told him, you have to have your finger touching the ring on the bar. That way it stops the lifters from being way too wide out with their grip in an attempt to mitigate the range of motion. Standard all weight classes have is that finger on the ring. Whoop. And that's where, I mean, he's got 3 attempts, but that's why you want a weight you're comfortable with, because if things don't go to script and you got to reset up with far less time in the bench press, very technical lift and oftentimes takes a lot more setups, certainly more than the deadlift. And you can see some of the setups by some of these young men. So if you have to reset up, limited time, you rush it, that can happen. He's okay. All is not lost. We have 3 attempts. Just got to calm yourself. And Ray Satfir of Canada, 127.5 kilo loaded on the bar for his first attempt. Self lift off. Ray locks it out. It was work, but it was honest work. With the self lift off, with some of these setups on the bench press, sometimes you need a lift off to maintain the setup you work so hard for. On the flip side, if you do a self lift off, you train with a self lift off, come to the Worlds and self lift off, it's consistent. Nothing changes. And consistency feels nice. It's nothing like a handoff that's completely different than you've been training with to throw you off a little bit. So there's pros and cons. And Yuji Murata of Japan, 130 kilo on the bar for him. Looks like we have another self-lift off here. Another nice setup. Beautiful angle there. And look at that. Technically on point bench press. 3 white lights. The judges agree. Beautiful arch. Rises the chest with the breath. Locks the lats. And that is as efficient as you'll find. Alberto from Spain, opening with 132.5. Makes easy work of 132.5. $147.5 now being loaded for Igor Kutarov of Russian Olympic Committee. And looking at the projected, we are going to have quite the firefight just to get on the podium. So many lifters clustered so closely together in the 66 kilo class. Every kilo is going to count. And Igor makes easy work of 147.5 kilo. In the projected, we have Kutarov with a 565 kilo total, Ray of Canada with a 562.5, and Chung of Canada with a 562.5. Talk about a cluster for the podium. Every kilo is going to count. Now we have a lot of lifting to go. I realize we can't get ahead of ourselves. 2 more rounds of the bench press, as well as all of the deadlifts. And the projected takes all of your accomplished lifts as well as your deadlift opener. And some people like to take big jumps from the deadlift opener. Some people will change their deadlift opener. So I give those numbers with caution. Take it for what it is. Alan Chung, 115 kilo. Alan makes easy, smooth work of 115. Adds 5 kilo towards his cause. No. We got some infractions here. Ah, the butt came up. Bless these multiple angles. On the slow-mo we have on platform 1. Alex Cremens of Ireland. 122.5 on the bar. 7.5 kilo jump. And he makes easy work of it. I just rattled off a few lifters vying for a podium finish, and not far behind them, we got a few more. A couple lifters start missing, the others start hitting, and we can have a total shakeup. The 66 kilo class is a battlefield, with the Spaniard leading the charge. And Kieran Murray of Ireland with 125 kilo on the bar for him. 7.5 kilo jump from his opener. Nicely done by Kieran. And 125 being loaded for Jesus Amado of Mexico. He had missed this on his opener, but he was a little bit rushed. If you remember, it was about where the grip was in relation to the rings. And then he had to change his grip, quickly do his setup again, and might have thrown him off. He's got a full 60 seconds here. Plenty of time. Nicely done. And he's back. 3 white lights. Showing poise, these young men. I know they're juniors, but it's difficult to miss a lift, come back, and hit it again. Shows character. And Ray Satvir of Canada with 130 kilos loaded on the bar, a 2.5 kilo jump from his opening attempt, representing Canada.
Satvir Ray, Canada, 130 on the bar.
Start. Press.
Push it through, push it through. There you go. Perfect.
It's work, but it looks like he locked it out. The judges agree, 3 white lights.
Hayato Iwaki. Hayato Iwaki.
Hayato of Japan, 132.5 kilo on the bar for him. Hayato had hit 125 in his opener.
First lifter on platform 2 will be
7.5 kilo jump for him.
Jackson Walker.
He's going to set up, and it's going to be a textbook display of how to set up on the bench press and maximize your levers.
132.5 kilos.
Look at the mobility this young man has. The amount of time it takes and effort
Hayato.
to perfect your bench like that. Self lift off.
Push it through, push it through.
The right arm, legs, but he presses it out. And he gets it. 2 white lights. All he needs for it to pass. You can see the left side extended, then the right followed briefly afterwards.
Jackson Watkins will be our first lifter.
And Team Japan, once again, on the platform here, 135 kilo loaded for Murata.
Next lifter on platform
5 kilo jump.
35 kilos.
Obviously, very similar style of setup. Driving those traps into the bench. Self lift off again.
Push it through. There you go.
Smooth second attempt for Murata of Japan.
Platform 2 lifters, be ready.
137.5 being loaded now for Alberto. Francis. I'm hearing Robert Keller pronounce his name Francis.
Alberto is in the gold overall gold medal position. This will add to his lead. This will add to his lead.
5 kilo off of his opener and possibly towards his total. Looks like 5 kilo it is. Judges agree, 3 white lights. Igor Kudorov of the ROC, 152.5 kilo being loaded on the bar for him. 5 kilo jump from his opener. This is the biggest second attempt. He had the biggest opener and keeping pace. All but assured the gold medal in the bench press event. But he also has a close battle in the overall podium, so he needs these kilos. Wow. That was surprisingly easy. And we are going to begin the third attempts. A quick peek at the scorecard. And it's a mixture of our 53s, 59s, and our 66s. Alan Chung of Canada. 115 kilo on the bar for him. Alan got 110 kilo on his opener, jumped 5 kilo for his second attempt, missed it, and attempting it once more for his third and final bench of the day. Alan in contention for a podium finish, would love to add 5 kilo towards that cause. Oh, wow. Nope, just a little much. Alan showing all types of heart, though. I hope he didn't hurt his shoulder. He's grabbing his shoulder as he leads the platform. He certainly gave a titanic effort. Oh, the butt came up, though. It was not going to pass. Kieran Murray of Ireland. 127.5 kilo loaded on the bar for him. 2.5 kilo jump from his second attempt. Kieran keeping close in this race. And if he keeps this pace, he might be able to pull himself onto the podium. And it looks like he's done it. The Fighting Irish got a lot of fight left in him. Look at that. He is fired up, as he should be. Covering ground in the bench press event, setting himself up nicely for the deadlift event. And Alex Cremins of Ireland, 127.5 kilo on the bar for him. 5 kilo jump from the second attempt. It might come down to Team Ireland versus Team Ireland getting on the platform, or the podium, sorry. Little much, but he will be credited with 122.5 kilo from the second attempt that he got. And Mexico's Jesus Amado, 130 kilo loaded on the bar for him. He had missed 125. Had to adjust his hand placement. Was a little rushed. Came back. Smoked it in his second attempt. And the clock is winding down on Jesus. He was rushed the first time and missed. I hope he's not going to be overly... Here he is. Well, hopefully history does not repeat itself. He has 20 seconds now, and there's quite the setup in the bench press. It's not like the deadlift. You just reach down and grab. You see the counter down there. Now he needs to start descending the bar. He's got some time. Oh, wow. Did he do it? 3 white lights, and talk about some dramatic bench pressing for Amado. But the pressure does not rattle him. And Ray Satvir of Canada with 132.5 on the bar. 2.5 kilo jump from his second. Ray also in contention for a podium finish. I feel like I keep saying that, in contention for a podium finish. I'm not lying. That's how close this is. Little much, waves it off, and look at, for 2.5 kilo, how much do you want to empty the tank? You still have a deadlift event, and 2.5 kilos, nothing in the deadlift. You want to conserve your energy. I think the young man did the right thing. It's not going to happen. No need to lift your butt and just absolutely empty the tank for a failed lift, 2.5 kilo. And Hayato of Japan. Hayato of Japan with 135 kilo, 2.5 kilo jump from his second. Kuderov looking better and better as a lock on silver, but we got a lot of deadlifting to go. But the bronze, there are so many lifters clustered. Beautiful press there, by the way. Hayato, pleased with his work, as he should be. The Japanese take a lot of pride in their bench press. You can tell in the setup. Murata, 137.5 kilo on the bar for him. Yuji Murata looking to add 5 kilo onto his total. Nicely done. We'll see what the judges say. 3 white lights. And I think that was a nice attempt selection where he was definitely close to the limit. There's a bit of a sticking point. He battles through it. 2.5 more kilo would have been too much. They got everything they could out of their lifter here in the bench press event. And Alberto from Spain, who was on quite the roll, establishing himself at the forefront of the 66s here today at the IPF World Championships, taking a 2.5 kilo jump. His projected is well over 600 already. Oh, wow. 3 white lights. And Alberto didn't have to do too much of a major stress to nail that. We'll have plenty of energy left in the deadlift. When you have a big setup, oftentimes if you have a major fight in the bench press, it can tighten up the back and actually impact your deadlift. That's why you don't want to overly fight for 2.5 kilo when you still got a big event like the deadlift where you have a lot of weight to shift. Alberto, not overly taxed in the bench press, looks very much poised for a big deadlift. Igor Kutarov of the ROC, 157.5 kilo loaded on the bar for him. 5 kilo jump. And also making easy work of this. Bow to the crowd and the judges. Take another view on this. Beautiful pressing by Igor, representing the ROC. And that concludes the bench press. There's a quick peek at the scorecards for the 53s, 59s, and 66 kilo class juniors. You do not want to go anywhere. We have the deadlift event coming up in 10 minutes, and we have battles, my friends. Six-pack Lapidat signing off. I will see you in 10 minutes. Welcome back to the IPF World Championships here live in Homestead, Sweden at the Alico headquarters. And I want to give a shout out to our sponsors. We'll begin with Alico because when the pandemic hit, travel bans occurred, and we had all types of issues. Alico literally opened their doors to the headquarters to house us here, and we couldn't be more grateful. Without them doing that and sponsoring the event, none of this would have been possible. Also want to give a shout out to SBD, who has been a long supporter of the IPF and the IPF World Championships, as well as these individual lifters, supporting at all different levels, but it is much appreciated. I am six-pack lapping at, and we have the 53s, 59s, and 66s junior lifters here on Platform 1. Quick look at the lineup. It is the deadlift event. It's all come down to this. We have some tight battles. The outcome is about to play out. First lifter, Patvey Popov of the ROC, 140 kilo loaded on the bar for him. Hits it rather smoothly. As soon as these lifters hit their opening deadlift, their total is now secure. They can no longer bomb out, and now they can start covering ground. We have some battles to hit the podium and possibly get a medal. It's the IPF World Championships. You know how much that means, but you don't want to gamble and try to cover ground on your opener. It's not where you start when it comes to deadlift. It's where you finish. And eyes on the prize. 152.5 by Selman in the 53s. Nicely played.
Is the lifter, 170 Kazakhstan. All loaded and ready.
170 kilo on the bar for Muhammadin of Kazakhstan. We are in the 59 kilo class, and the Kazakhstan lifter has secured his total. K-Mac of Turkey now opening with 185 kilo. Double overhand hook grip, hip pump, and looks like he's done it. Nice, smooth opener. K-Mac breathes a sigh of relief as his total is secure. And now we can start covering ground. 190 kilo now for Boris Komisarov of the Russian Olympic Committee. Boris put on a clinic in the bench press event, smashing world records back to back to back. Boris, 190 kilo now for his opener. When you set a world record, you have to have a total for it to stand. And his world records will stand. Talk about a smooth opener by Boris. And Russia has 59 kilo lifters. Have you heard of Sergei Fedoshenko? He's quite good. William Kovac opening with 200 kilo in the 59 kilo class, representing Czechia. Nice deadlift opener by William Kovac.
Next lifter, Acker.
Tomas, representing France. 202.5 on the bar for him.
Acker.
Nice pull. And thus far, the attempt selection on these openers has been bang on. Doesn't look like anybody's overextended. Obviously, nobody's missed. But sometimes you open, and it's far more of a fight than you would have anticipated with two other deadlifts afterwards. No room to grow from there. But that's not the case. And Jensen of Great Britain opening with 205. Keep in mind there is medals in these individual events as well as for total. Double overhand hook grip, I believe, here as well. Nope. Nicely done. Oh, little bobble at the top. Yeah, there was, look at the weight moves smooth, and that's not going to be a problem for him. But you'll see in the slow-mo replay, that bobble right there. It's the case with sumo pullers. At the top, sometimes there's a balance issue with the lockout, and the bar can only move in one direction. If there's any up-down on the bar, it's not going to get past. We're back in the 53s, 150 kilo by Popov. Handles it with ease. 3 white lights. And Britton Salmon with 152.5 loaded on the bar for him. Taking a 10 kilo jump. Piecing together a nice day. Slow and steady, and he locks it out. Nicely done. Picks up 10 kilo towards his total. Diaz Mukhammadin of Kazakhstan in the 59 kilo class, jumping 5 kilo to his second attempt, 175 kilo loaded on the bar. Little much there. He did buy himself some security with that 170 kilo opener. A little bit surprising with the way the 170 kilo moved for him, but you never know what happened there. If he got injured at some point in time. He does have one more attempt, but the way the 170 didn't budge off the ground, hopefully he's okay. 200 kilo now on the bar for K-Mac of Turkey. 15 kilo jump. Hip pump and nicely done. K-Mac picks up 15 kilo towards his total. And yeah, just a quick update. The Kazakhstan lifter is opting not to come out for his third attempt. So likely got injured somewhere along the way. Grateful he got his opener in. He did not bomb out. He has a total 462.5. If not the total he wanted, still came to the IPF Worlds, competed, and got his total. Now 202.5 for Boris Komisarov of the ROC, and that is a beautiful deadlift. Gives a bow to the judges in the crowd. 3 white lights for Boris. 205 kilo being loaded now, and with 6 lifters here in the 66s, now down to 5. All of these lifters will be contributing points towards their national team. Well, if you make it to the top 5, and Jensen of Great Britain would love to hit this 205. Strength is there, no question about that. A little bobble on top, but that's a minor thing to touch up. Hits the 205, gets himself on the board, and can cover some ground with this third. And there it is, much cleaner. Judges agree. Can breathe a sigh of relief. And William Kovac of Czechia with a 210 kilo second attempt. 10 kilo jump from his opener. And William establishing himself as a bronze medalist on the podium if all goes well. Couple more lifts to go. I'm not putting the medal around his neck just yet, but really pacing well, and that's going to help his cause. Look at that. All types of positive momentum in William's pathway here. Look at this slow-mo replay. As textbook a sumo lift as you're going to find. 210 kilo on the bar now. Oh, sorry, 212.5 kilo on the bar now for Thomas Aker of France. Another beautiful lift. 10 more kilo for his total. We're going to move back into the 53 kilo class, where Great Britain's Desai Salman will close out his day with 157.5 kilo. This will, if temporarily, move him into the gold medal for the deadlifts. Silver medal overall. But wouldn't he love to lead the IPF World Championships with a gold medal in hand? This is the first step. Obviously, there's another lifter to go, and he would have to miss. Couple sequences of events that need to take place. Can Selman do his part? Nope, just a little too much today. But it was worth the effort. Might as well make a press for the gold. He risked nothing in doing so. 160 kilo being loaded for Matvey Popov of the Russian Olympic Committee. This is our other 53 kilo class lifter. He is the gold medalist overall, currently in silver for deadlifts, and adds the gold medal for deadlifts as well. Gives a bow to the crowd. Good future for that young man. As a 53, I'm sure at some point will grow into the 59s. Rather tall for a 53, and we're going to move back to the 59. Speaking of, where his teammate Boris Komisarov of the ROC will be attempting a 210-pound deadlift. Oh. Looks like we had an attempt change. Now, it should be said, we're in the last attempts for deadlifts, and you could change your deadlift attempt twice. So we will see some attempt changes for the final dead. People are jockeying around for position on that podium. IPF World Championship medals are being handed out, and everybody wants one. There's only 3 spots on that podium. Who's going to get it? 212.5 for Jensen of Great Britain. And it looks like you see the smile almost creeps on Jensen's face as he locks it out. He had missed his opener, rallied back to hit it, jumped up 7.5 kilo, and nails his final deadlift attempt. And K-Mac of Turkey with a 215 kilo final attempt. Resting just off the podium in fourth. Temporarily, this will move him into first place in the deadlifts, but there's 3 other lifters to go. However, unless all 3 of those lifters get their deadlift, he will be leaving the deadlift event with a medal. First, he's got to hit this. 215, it's off the floor. Nope, just a little too much today. 215 is going to stay on the bar for William Kovac of Czechia.
Czech Republic, 215 in.
He is secure with the bronze medal overall. Hits this and a move into a gold medal for the deadlifts. Currently resting with the bronze medal in deadlifts. Can he pull himself into position for gold? Oh, nice momentum there. It appears as though he's done it. 3 white lights. It's a nice way to end your day. 2 more lifters to go. That is your bronze medalist overall. What medal will he get in the deadlift event? We're going to find out. 220 kilo being loaded on the bar now. Boris Komisarov of Russia. Boris breaking world records in the bench press. Boris is your 59 kilo world champion. And just might walk away with another gold medal in the deadlift event if he can get this. And that was a smooth deadlift there. Nicely done. Absolutely outstanding day by Boris. He has reason to celebrate. That is your 59 kilo world champion. Let's have a war cry on the top. And Thomas of France will also attempt 220 kilo. But because he weighed in slightly less than Boris, he will walk away with the gold medal in deadlifts should he hit this. Already has the silver medal overall in hand. Is it gold or is it silver in the deadlifts? Oh, wow, I think he might have done it. Gold in the deadlifts to finish his day. And they got the most out of their lifter because I don't think he had another 2.5 kilo in him. Nicely done.
Final flight of deadlifts for the morning session.
And now we're back to the 66s. These are the openers, and opening us off, Murata of Japan. 200 kilo on the bar for him. And the 66s is a battlefield. Very tight race to get onto that podium. With very little room on that podium. This is where the attempt selection by the national team coaches can make the difference. It's not always about who's stronger. Especially when a lot of these gentlemen are fairly even on strength, as it would appear. Igor Kutarov of Russian Olympic Committee, 205 on the bar for him. Slow and steady. 3 white lights. And sometimes that's the way the sumo lifts go. It can be a little slow off the floor. You'll hear some people yelling out patience off the floor. Once it gains steam, you're good. Don't want to read too much into a slower deadlift opener when it's sumo. And Kieran Murray of Ireland, 220 kilo on the bar for him. Nicely done. Most of Kieran's lifts have been pretty clean, easy to call. Iwaki Hayato of Japan, 222.5 kilo for his opener. He's got plenty of time.
Iwaki, Japan, 222.5.
Nicely done. And again, reiterating what I said earlier, a little slow off the floor, but look at the speed once he gets a little momentum. Bang, right into lockout. Textbook sumo style. And 227.5 being loaded for Jesus Amato of Mexico.
Jesus Amato, Mexico, 227.5.
Makes easy work. Opening up just a stitch over 500 pounds. Now 235 kilo loaded on the bar for Alan Chung of Canada. By the time we get to the deadlift event, Alan is battle tested. Nicely done there. Alan secures his total and is on the board. And I got the proper pronunciation on Alberto's last name. Alberto Irith. Alberto Irith of Spain. Having a phenomenal day, 235 kilo for his opener. And the Spaniards, always a vocal, supportive bunch. Makes easy work of that 235. I'm sure it's going to be 3 whites, but he's going to wait for him to get the lights before he leaves. There it is. In Ireland's Alex Cremins, 237.5 being loaded for him. Smooth and easy stuff there. 3 white lights. And Ray Satfir of Canada with the final deadlift opener, 242.5 loaded on the bar for him. Canada got a nice little 1-2 punch in the 66s.
position. Correction. Third position on deadlift opener.
Double overhand hook grip, sumo style. Beautiful deadlift opener there by Ray. Nicely done. Better keep an eye on this young man in the deadlift event. He's going to cover a lot of ground quickly. $210 being loaded on the bar for Igor Kutarov of ROC, the Russian Olympic Committee. 5-kilo jump for him. Pacing for a silver medal overall. Not a guaranteed silver, though, especially with Ray's deadlift. And I tell you what, that was a 5-kilo jump, a little bit laborious. He gets it, but probably getting close to his limit based on the speed of that pull. While Ray from Canada is a little behind in the bronze medal position, his deadlift opener looked very good, and he's going to cover a lot of ground. We are going to have a fight for that silver. We are going to have a fight for that bronze. 2:15 by Yuji Murata of Japan. $15-kilo jump from his opener. Three white lights, he picks up 15-kilo. And as I said earlier, it's difficult to judge just off of openers alone, because from the openers, some people take 7.5 or 5-kilo jumps. Some people take double that and cover a lot of ground in the deadlift. And this is where the projected sometimes lies to you. Some people even change your openers right before the final changes are made. And Kieran Murray of Ireland, 230 kilo for his second attempt. 10-kilo jump for him. Handles that 10-kilo jump rather well. Has a lot more in the tank, I believe. Three white lights. Gives us the A-OK. He's pleased. And why shouldn't he be? Kieran closing in on a podium finish possibly as well. Hayato. 235 kilo on the bar for him. 12.5-kilo jump from his opener. He's fired up, wants to start covering some ground. If he hits this, he's also real close to a podium finish. 1 through 7 or 8 could get a podium finish. Oh, fails at the knees. And as long as he's not injured, was reaching for his hamstring. He did solidify his total with his opener. You hope it's nothing major. You see him reach for his hamstring as he gets off the platform. We'll see. Could be a cramp. And he might be all right and be able to return for one final deadlift. 240 now on the bar for Jesus Amado of Mexico.
Fifth position if he makes it, or when he makes it. Seventh to sixth.
Hip pump. Nope, not going anywhere today. And the podium picture is starting to clear up a little bit with some of these failed lifts in the second attempts. Some of these gentlemen are hitting, some of these gentlemen are missing. And the field for the podium will get trimmed a little. Now 242.5 on the bar for Alberto Herrez. 7.5 kilo jump from his opener. Alberto putting on a clinic in the 66 kilo class. A star in the making is Alberto, and he can feel the momentum. Alan Chung of Canada.
Alan Chung, 245, Canada. This will move
245 kilo being loaded for him.
from 8th position to 6th position. This moves him up to this, 2 places. 2 places, 8th to 6th.
Getting the bar clean, don't want any grip issues.
Bar is loaded.
10 kilo jump for Alan.
Sir, picks it right up.
Oop.
Not able to hold on to it. Good try.
Issue at the lockout. We'll take a look at the slow-mo replay here. Slow off the floor, but that's consistent with his earlier pull. Had it just came out of his hands on his hand on the left side. Alex Cremens of Ireland. We can hear him in the back getting riled up for this 250 kilo pull. I expect he's coming out with some intensity.
Let's get behind him from Ireland. 250 kilos. He wants that bronze medal.
And he makes easy work of 250 kilo. Look at that smooth pull. At no point was there any hesitation or sticking. Ray Satvier of Canada. 255 kilo loaded on the bar for Ray. A bit of a stark contrast to the Irishman. Ray coming out all types of calm, cool, and collected.
Bronze medal in this weight class. This moves him into bronze medal position.
Look at that. 3 white lights, and typical of the sumo style, slow off the floor, patient, build steam. Nice lockout. And we are at the final deadlift attempts. And my goodness, we have Alberto has the gold medal locked up and is your world champion. Kutarov of Russia is sitting at 587.5, where Ray has 582.5, and this is in the projected. Beneath him is Ireland's Cremens with a 577.5. Murray, also Ireland, 577.5, and then the Japanese lifter 577.5. I mean, this is way too close to call. Igor Kutarov, 212.5. Misses, so he will finish his day with a 585. Resting in silver medal position, but now he has the agonizing situation of sitting back and seeing if somebody else is going to take that silver medal from him. And he gets bumped down to bronze and possibly further down, depending on these final deadlifts. Be interesting to see Ray, the Canadian, with the biggest deadlift of the bunch so far, is in the enviable position of seeing what everyone else does first. You can change your final deadlift twice. Do keep that in mind. 225 on the bar for Murata of Japan. 10-kilo jump from his opener. Or second attempt, sorry. Gets a little stuck at the quads. Looks like he locked it out. Let's see what the judges say. No. You can't have any down up. And you'll see he has a bit of a sticking point here. And look like there's a little bit of down up there. You also can't ramp and support on your thighs. There's a couple infractions you could have in the deadlift once you start getting stuck. And it was a no lift on his third and final dead. Now Kieran Murray of Ireland, 240 kilo on the bar for him. If he hits this, temporarily moves himself into the bronze medal position overall. And the judges know. Let's take a look at the slow-mo. I was wondering if his knees are locked, shoulders back. Let's take a look at this lockout here. They do. He did get one white. So I think the coaches of Team Ireland are going to go to the jury and try to fight for it. I'll keep you updated on what happens. But 240 on the bar for Jesus Amado of Mexico.
Amado, Mexico, 240. 240. This puts him into 5th position.
If Amado hits this, he moves into 5th, which collects some team points for Mexico, but not going to happen today. You'll see some of these lifters pulling for not only podium, but also top 5 finish to collect some team points. It's a strategic, bigger picture move for their national teams. Quick look here at the scorecard, if you will. But that's going to get shaken up with 5 more deadlifts to go. We haven't had a single final deadlift actually pass. And that's because these gentlemen are reaching and sometimes overreaching, trying to secure a medal. 245 on the bar for Alan Chung of Canada. Missed this with a grip issue at the top in his second attempt, looking to correct that. Very, very close. Not today, just a little too overextended. And Hayato working himself up to a frenzy for this 247.5. Missed 235 and attempting to load up and pull into a podium finish position. It's gutsy. It's ambitious. Is it realistic? Let's see. Gumption can take you pretty far in sports. Can it take Hayato onto the podium? Nope, not today. Not today. And I believe he had that cramp. Yep, that's right. He had that hamstring issue. in a little bit of pain there. We actually have not had a single third attempt deadlift pass yet. That might change now with Alberto Erith from Spain, 257.5 kilo being loaded. And this young man at only 21 years old still has 2 more years in the juniors, is becoming a force in powerlifting. Talk about one hell of a coming out party for the IPF community. If you didn't know him before, you know him now. Alberto, 257.5. Oh, wow. Oh, just at the top. Still, that is your 66 kilo class junior world champion, finishing his day with a 617.5 kilo total. And we remain without a successful third attempt. Kutarov is still in silver. Alberto in the gold. Pulling for third, Alex Kremens. Can he get onto that podium with one lifter to go after him? Locks it out. What do the judges say? 3 whites, and he's in the bronze medal position with one lifter left to go. What a nice fight. He knew what was at stake. Him and his coach is celebrating once they realize they got the bronze in hand, but it's not around the neck yet. Ray Satvir of Canada with a 262.5 kilo pull right now. He's actually pulling for silver. He says, "Excuse me, pardon me, bronze? No, sir. I am pulling for silver." He will have the same total as Kutarov of the ROC, but he has weighed in less on body weight. Tie goes to him. Talk about a gutsy move. A bit of an all or nothing, but you got to respect it. The tenacity of this young man, Ray of Canada. From fourth to silver, Jeff Butt on the side. Oh, just a little too much. Ray, thanks the crowd for their support. And what a dramatic finish this was. Whew. My Lord, I think we're going to take a look at the scorecard here, but Alberto finishing as your 66 kilo world champion in the juniors. Kutarov of the ROC taking the silver, and Alex Kremens of Ireland going 3 for 3 in the deadlift event, and was the only lifter in the 66s that got his third and final deadlift. And I told you it was going to be a battle for that podium for the bronze medal position, and that's what it comes down to. If you can hit, it obviously greatly increases your chances. When the pressure was on, Alex hit and now has the bronze medal around his neck in one of the best battles we've seen thus far in the IPF World Championships. Still many more to come. Don't go anywhere. We will be back with the medal ceremony. Six-pack Lapidat signing off.
Okay, now we start the victory ceremony with 3 officials.
I'll give you the medals.
Okay,
They call the
we
name.
are ready?
Yes.
Okay,
Tasha.
we can start with bench press.
Finished.
In 53 category sub-junior. Third place, Watkins Jackson, ESV. Okay.
Are you okay, bro?
Second place, Bodkowski Jacob from Poland. And the gold medal in squat is Demikan Edmond from Russia Olympic Committee. Picture. Thank you. And now with bench press in 53 category. Third place, Watkins Jackson, ESV. Second place, Bodkowski Jacob from Poland. And the gold medal in bench press, Demikan Edmond, Russia Olympic Committee.
You have a soda.
Thank you.
You have the gold.
And now with deadlift. Third place, Watkins Jackson, ESV. Second place, Demikan Edmond, Russia Olympic Committee. And the gold medal in deadlift, sub-junior 53 kilo category, Bodkowski Jacob from Poland. Okay, the picture. Thank you. And now the total. Third place, Watkins Jackson, ESV 162 kilo. Very young lifter, but strong. Second place, Bodkowski Jacob from Poland, 387.5 kilos. And the world champion in this category, 53 kilos sub-junior, is Demikan Edmond from Russia Olympic Committee, 465 kilos, 35 kilos. Sorry. Please stand, yes, you can out the race. Please stand up for the national anthem from Olympic Committee. Thank you. Wait. We forget to present on the podium. Okay. Thank you, Adi. And thank you, Elijah.
Just bring that tank.
Okay, thank you.
Big
Now,
tray.
we continue with the next session. 59 sub-junior kilo category. In squat, third place, Pitsankov Alexander, Ukraine. Second place, Berlianowski weight from Russia Olympic Committee. And with the same weight but not the same body weight, the gold medal is Bugata Boris from Kazakhstan. Thank you. And now on the bench press. Third place, Volontyansko Danilo, Ukraine. Second place, Berlianowski weight from Russia Olympic Committee. And the gold medal in bench press is Bukata Boris from Kazakhstan. Thank you. Now in deadlift. Bronze medal, Bukata Boris from Kazakhstan. Silver medal, Volontyansko Danilo, Ukraine. And the gold medal in deadlift from Russia Olympic Committee, Berlianowski weight 225 kilos. Thank you. Now, total sub-junior category, 59 kilo. Bronze medal at this World Championships, Volontyansko Danilo, Ukraine, 470 kilo. And the silver medal from Kazakhstan, Bukata Boris, 505 kilo. And the world champions in this category, 59 kilo sub-junior 2021, is Berlianowski weight from Russia Olympic Committee, 525 kilo. Where you come out, please, out of the lifter, out the mask for the picture, and for the national. Please stand up for the national anthem of Russia Olympic Committee. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now we continue with 66 kilo category sub-junior with a squat. Third place, Jacob Terrat from Netherlands. Second place, Koval Leonid from Russia Olympic Committee. And the gold medal in squat in this category with 200 kilo, Ivanov Alexander from Kazakhstan. Thank you. Now in bench press. Third place, Jacob Terrat from Netherlands. Second place, Koval Leonid from Russia Olympic Committee. And the gold medal in bench press is Ivanov Alexander, Kazakhstan. Thank you. Now in deadlift, please. Third place, Koval Leonid from Russia Olympic Committee. Second place, Ivanov Alexander from Kazakhstan. And the gold medal in deadlift in this category is Jacob Terrans from Netherlands. 220 kilograms. Thank you. And now total of the World Championships. Bronze medal, Koval Leonid, Russia Olympic Committee, 467.5 kilos. The silver medal, Jacob Terrans from Netherlands, 485 kilos. And the world champion in Chip Junior category, 66 kilos, is Ivanov Alexander from Kazakhstan, 530 kilos. Okay, please out the list and stand up for national anthem from Kazakhstan. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now we continue. No, finish. We change of lifter. Sasha, we will change lifter? Yes. Okay. Music, please. Big applause for sub-junior category 53, 55 and 66 kilo. And now please the lifter, the junior lifter, all the junior lifter please. Quickly, all the junior lifter please. For the victory ceremony. I think we have 3 categories in this platform. Please, the lifter, junior lifter, please, for the victory ceremony. Ici, we need the lifter, please. Junior lifter, please. (53, 59 and 66 kilo category for the victory ceremony of this World Championships in Amsterdam 2021. Okay, with big applause of the audience, the junior. Okay, thank you. Some of the official, please, you can give the present, Elico present for all the lifters. It's good. Okay? Now we start with victory ceremony in 53 kilo junior category. Silver medal in squat, Daisy Salman from Great Britain. Silver medal. And the gold medal, Popov Matvey from Russia Olympic Committee. Thank you. Now bench press. The silver medal, Daisy Salman from Great Britain. And the gold medal, Popov Matvey from the Russia Olympic Committee. Popov. Thank you. Now deadlift. The silver medal, Daisy Salman from Great Britain. And the gold medal, Popov Matvey from the Russia Olympic Committee. Thank you. Now total. So in the World Championships in Amsterdam 2021, 53 kilo junior category, silver medal, Daisy Salman, Great Britain, 355 kilo. And the winner at the World Championship is Popov Matvey, Russia Olympic Committee, 292 kilo. Please get out the mask, please. And stand up for National Olympic Committee. Thank you. Thank you very much. In our next category, 59 kilo category, junior. In squat, bronze medal, Kovac William, Czechia. William. No, bronze medal, yes. Thank you. Silver medal, Asher Thomas from France. And gold medal, Komisarov Boris, Russia Olympic Committee. Thank you. Bench press. The bronze medal, Kovac William, Czechia. The silver medal, Asher Thomas from France. And the gold medal with a new world record in bench press, Komisarov Boris, Russia Olympic Committee, 151 kilo. New world record. Thank you. Deadlift. Bronze medal, Kovac William, Czechia. Silver medal, Komissarov Boris, Russia Olympic Committee. And the gold medal in deadlift at this World Championships, Asher Thomas from France. Thank you. Now with deadlift, total at this World Championships, bronze medal, Kovac William, Czechia, 520 kilos. The silver medal, Asher Thomas from France, 545 kilos. And the winner of this World Championships is this category, junior 59 kilo category, Komissarov Boris, Russia Olympic Committee, 571 kilo.5. Please, out the vest and stand up for National Olympic Committee. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And now, with the last category, 66 kilo junior category. In squat, bronze medal, Murray Sayad from Ireland. Silver medal, Kotorov Igor from Russia Olympic Committee. And the gold medal in squat is Alberto Frances from Spain. Thank you. In bench press, bronze medal, Murata Yugi from Japan. Silver medal, Alberto Frances for Spain. And the gold medal in bench press is Kutorov Igor from Russia Olympic Committee. Thank you. In deadlift, bronze medal, Alberto Frances from Spain. The silver medal, Ray Stevier from Canada. And the gold medal with 260 kilo is from Iran, Kremins Alex. Thank you. And now, the total in this category, World Championships, 66 kilo category junior, bronze medal, Kremins Alex from Ireland. The silver medal, Kotorov Igor from Russia Olympic Committee, 585 kilo. And the winner, the world champion, is from Spain, Alberto Frances. 670 kilo.5.
¡Vamos, loco, el gorrito!
World champion in 66 kilo category junior. Please stand up
Una lagrimita,
for
Beto.
national anthem from Spain. Thank you, Referee, please, for the lifter. One referee for the lifter, please. Okay. Please, big applause for this lifter, junior lifter. World Championships 2021 in Amsterdam. And see you tomorrow for the next platform with junior and sub-junior.